everybody. So, having two cameras here, have to look both sides. Okay. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Thank you for joining me for our weekly Wednesday Facebook Live. Today, have a little bit of a different setup. So, a different change in environment. Hi, Roslyn. Thank you for joining me. And hi, Tina and Kala. Thank you for joining me on Instagram. I apologize for being late. Zoom is giving me some issues. So finally, I managed to get on. Oh, not Zoom. Sorry. StreamYard. StreamYard is giving me some issues. But I'm here. So that's all that matters. And we have quite a few of you on Instagram. Danielle is here. And then we have Party Policies. We have Shauna. Okay. So thank you so much for being patient with me. And I'm going to go right into teaching because I have to go teach inside the mentorship program at 12:30 today. Today we'll be doing some role plays and talking about owning a venue. Okay. So if you're joining me on Facebook, make sure you say hi. Click on the StreamYard link so I can see your name. If you are on LinkedIn or YouTube, same thing. You can write me a comment and I will be able to interact with you as well. Okay. So today, we're going to talk about how to coach your clients. What inspired me to create this particular tutorial today is because I have been hearing some feedback from my clients inside our mentorship program and also inside the Facebook group that I see a lot of planners are constantly battling with this, which is their clients are not giving them information in a timely fashion. So they constantly have to go chase their clients for information. And it becomes very frustrating. And also it raises your anxiety level. Okay. If you're seeing me looking at both sides, because I have Instagram over here and then I have my laptop over here that is streaming to LinkedIn and YouTube. So it becomes like a constant battle, like pulling teeth, trying to get information from your client who has paid you to do their events. But it's almost impossible to get hold of them. And also, it's so difficult to get the information from them. It's like bits and pieces, or they don't even talk to you. Like they're not responding to your text message, they're not responding to your emails, your phone calls. And then you feel like you're harassing them because you're constantly calling them to get the information because your vendors need the information, your venue needs the information, and then you are like stuck in between. How many of you have experienced that before? Okay, if you experience that, please put in the chat so we make it as an interactive communication here, not just me talking. So if you're here on Facebook with me, please, I'd love to be able to see. I have some eyeballs here, but I don't see any comments coming up. Okay. So thank you for joining me, Siobhan. So how many of you have such experience before that you have to go chase your client for information? Okay. Almost like threatening them. Hey, listen, if you don't give me this information, this event cannot happen. The vendors is not going to deliver. We're going to have a late fee. And then it becomes very uncomfortable because you as an event planner, you want to be able to have that relationship, right? You want to continue to build the know, like, and trust. But now you become like you become like a border, okay? And you don't want to do that, okay? Hey, Daisha, thank you for joining me on Instagram. Good to see you here. So now, how do we overcome that type of situation, okay? That you have to constantly go chase your clients for information in order to do your job, and they hire you to plan the event, and yet they're not giving you the information. So a few processes have to take place. All right, a few processes have to take place, and then this will not happen. And the process is called coaching. Well, to me, okay, it's called coaching your clients. And it starts way at the very beginning, not after you have already decided that we're going to be working together, they hire you. This process have to start from the very, very, very beginning during your qualification of the leads. Okay. Remember, I always say when you are qualifying your leads. It's not them deciding if they want to hire you. More importantly, is for you to decide if you want to work with them. Okay. And one of the things that you have to be very honest with yourself is, how do you work? What is your working style? If you're finding potential clients that are not aligned with how you work, it becomes like a nightmare client, because your personality in the first place, you do not jive, and that's going to be a problem. Okay. And what I'm going to teach you right now is the same process that I use for my own business, M2 Hospitality. Same thing for Events for Anyone, my coaching program. The very first thing you need to do to coach your client, the very first step is during the qualification process. All right, you have already qualified them that they want to be able to, they want to work with you. Correct? Hey, Tommy, thank you for joining me. Oh, hopefully you're feeling much better. Okay, so this session is I'm teaching my members, who my followers, how to coach their client so they can have a flawless event. So you have to be very honest during the whole qualification process, that you decide that, hey, you know what, this potential client that I'm talking to, I may want to work with them because you like their energy, they like your energy, right? You have a good connection. But apart from good connection, we got to be very honest about how we work. Okay, how we work. And you need to tell them your expectation. When you work together, what is your expectation of them? And what is their expectation of you? So you have to be very honest with how thank you, Tommy, listen to this woman. you have to be very honest with your potential client, that okay, when we work together, this is how I work. Okay, when you hire me to do the job, I require certain information from you. I require certain communication from you. I require you to send me XYZ, ABC by a certain timeline. Okay, that means when you hire me to do your event, it is not just all hands off, because I need your participation, I need your input, and then we can work together as partners. Okay, it is not that you hire me and then you disappear and then I make magic happen. In order to make magic happen, I need the magic dust. And the magic dust is you and the information you're going to give to me. And I'm going to use the magic dust to create the magic. You have to be so honest with your clients, potential clients, during the qualification process to tell them how you work. Okay. You are basically already telling them the timeline, the event timeline, that, okay, your event is going to be in June next year. Okay, regardless whether it's a wedding, corporate event, is June next year. When we start working together, now it's October 5th. If we decide to work together, okay, we're going to sign the contract by end of this Friday, the deposit retainer paid, and then we start work on Monday. You will receive an onboarding email from me that tells you what I will need from you each month, each week, each quarter. Okay. And in order for me to do my job well, I will require you to be a good partner, to be able to give me all those things that I need from you. If you are unable to do that, you have to let me know so I can communicate with the rest of the people who's going to be actively involved in creating a flawless event for you, which is the venue and the vendors, okay, plus me. So if you are not able to do that, it is my job to help you to gather those information or point you to the right direction. That's why you're not just hiring a planner, you're hiring someone who is a strategist, okay? Your partner as well in planning the event. You have to be so clear with your potential client that this is how you work. All right, that's what I do with my clients. I give them an event timeline in the conversation. I will say that, okay, so your event's going to be in 6 months. So by end of October, when we start working this coming Friday, so next week we have our onboarding call, and then I'm going to give you a general idea of what I will expect from you and what you can expect from me. So by the end of October, we will need to have an idea, the theme of your event. Okay, So I will use the whole month of October, whole month of November to research on the venues and the vendors that's going to be aligned in fulfilling the vision of the event. And then for December, January, February, March, April, May, sprinkle in between, every month I'll be asking you, right, for more ideas. I'll be asking you to tell me how many guest count you have. I'll be asking you to tell me what type of food preference you like. I'll be asking you to tell me what are the branding, marketing materials, collateral, stationery, the things that you want, in order for me to get everything in on time. So a month before the event, we are not scrambling, okay? Because I would say by January, I will have a pretty good idea how much everything costs. Then I will be able to present to you and you will be able to work on your budget. So when you are explaining to them what you need from them, they need to understand why you need it, okay? They need to understand, because they are not from the events field. They have no idea why you need what you say you need. So it is your job to educate them in that conversation, even though right now they are not your clients yet. And this is a great time for you to build the know, like, and trust, and also the authority in the field by letting them understand you know what you're doing by whatever you're sharing with them. So you're giving them an insight how it's like to work with you, how they can trust you to do the job, and how they will be involved in the process with you, so they are not blindsided by certain things. And yeah, that you two are always in constant communication. That is building that relationship you have with your clients, okay? With your potential client. So now they are listening to you and you're telling them, okay, I need this by this time. This is the reason why, okay? I need this by this time. This is the reason why. If I don't have this is what's going to happen. So you're preparing them to building the vision together. If you give me this, your vision is coming closer to fruition. If you don't give me this, then I'm going to have to take this road here, which probably going to take longer. It's probably going to cost you more. And we don't want that, do we? Right? So this is the path of least resistance and the easiest path to create your vision, and probably the cheapest way as well. So in order for this to happen, we are going to do this. So you're giving them an idea what you need, when you need it, and how it will be like working with you. Now, this is a great time to see their reaction, okay? Facial expression, body language, tone of voice. If they are very silent, it is because they probably are listening to you, trying to absorb all the information and then make a decision. You have to ask them as well, okay, based on what I've shared with you, can you envision yourself working with me to make this beautiful event together? Do you like the way that I have laid it out to you? Is it confusing? Is it overwhelming? You want to be able to ask how they feel, okay? And then they can make the decision if they want to work with you or not. If they make the decision to want to work with you, it will not be any surprise when you start working together that you probably will not have to go chase after them. Maybe you still do have to send out reminders, but it's not going to become like a surprise at home. Holy moly, this woman is intense, right? So my clients already know that I'm super intense because I already prepped them. Okay, Tommy is a perfect example. Tommy is my client. So I already prepped them. And then when we get into the process of working together, they know that I'm on top of them. I'm on top of my vendors. I'm on top of my venue. I'm on top of the event, because it's my role to make sure I deliver what you say you want. Okay. So they're not surprised with how you communicate, what your deliverables is, and what you expect them to give to you. Okay. You have to ask them, do you envision working like this? Do you like this way of working? Because this is how I work, and it has always worked very well for myself and my team and my clients. So this is the time for you to qualify them and for them to qualify you even further. So if they say that, I don't think I like it, or I'm very laid back, I'm very relaxed, I trust you to do everything and stuff like that, then you have to decide, oh, okay, is that your style? Do you like to work with somebody who just disappear on you and then you go make all the decisions and then they trust you to make the right decisions? Or do you prefer somebody who is very active, giving you some feedback? What do you prefer? Okay. So they're evaluating you, you're evaluating them. So assuming that they say that, okay, I like to work with you. I like your style. Okay, you keep me in line, you keep me accountable, and you know what you're doing. Okay, based on whatever you just shared with them, they feel that they can trust you because you just assert yourself as the authority in the field based on what you shared with them. They think that you are the expert. They know that you know what you're doing because you already give them an overall view of how it's like working with you, what you need from them, and because what they give to you, what you can deliver for them. Okay, so they decide to work with you. Onboarding. This is a constant reminder. Okay, it's not one time and done. Onboarding process. You have to be very clear to repeat what you said to them before they become a client. So during the onboarding process, you are going to have a document. Okay, a lot of times it's on my contract. You have a document to tell them, or a Google sheet. Okay, a Google sheet that tells them, okay, this is what I need from you. And then you're going to break down all the tasks, all the things that you and your team will be doing. And then you're going to put next to it, okay, who's responsible for that task to give you that thing, and when is the deadline that they need to give to you. Okay, so you need to remind them again during the onboarding. So send them a simple timeline, what needs to be done, and what resources you need in order to get it done, what information you need in order to get it done, so they know. Okay, so now they know what you need. The next step you're going to do is you're going to send them a reminder. Okay, especially when it comes to payment. If your vendor needs you to pay on October 5th, your reminder needs to be 2 weeks out to your client. Okay, so you need to set the reminder for yourself and your client. 2 weeks, they say payment due by October 5th. So 2 weeks out, you're going to go remind your client. 1 week out, you're going to go remind your client. 3 days out, you're going to remind your client. Okay, so automation is great in this aspect. So you don't have to constantly do it yourself, or I put it on my calendar and then it pops out at 9 o'clock in the morning. I was like, oh, okay, I got to do this. Okay, so you need to remind them. Don't remind them on the day of the date due. All right, remind them way in advance, especially when it's a big thing that they have to do. So you will have to tell them date due. Okay, and this is the date. Then you have to remind them. So when they send you the stuff, it's not you're not scrap. They already know it's expected to send it to you. Okay, and you have to be so clear to them because they will forget. You have to be so clear to them that, hey, by October 5th, and then assuming that this deliverable from your client to send to you is by October 12th. Okay, and I will also suggest that if, let's say, the vendor needs the thing from you by October 12th, you're going to tell your client you need it by like 5 days before. Okay, like October 7th. So it gives you that 5 days of chasing. Okay, 5 days of chasing. So you want to be able to have leeway. I know it sounds really crazy with all these reminders, but when you have a lot of events, this is going to really help you. And this is where you have a virtual assistant or a team member to doing all this admin work, chasing for events. This is not a good use of your time to go do it yourself. You want to be able to get someone to do it. Okay, so you want to be able to give leeway between the real deadline and the deadline you give to your client. And you have to constantly remind them as well that I am doing my job by constantly reminding you. Okay, and this needs to be spoken before they decide to work with you. Otherwise, they get a heart attack after they started working with you. It's like, this woman is hardcore and like super intense, or oh my god, it's such a bother. I get 10 emails, 10 reminders from her. If they already know that this is how you work, and if they follow your instruction, you wouldn't be sending them 10 reminders, correct? So you already forewarned them, right? It's just like a teacher teaching a student. You already forewarned them. This is what they will be expecting from you. And you got to make it so clear on your onboarding process and also on your Excel sheet. My clients love it because they will say that, you're going to remind me, right? You're going to remind me to do this, right? I say, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I'll put it on my reminder to go remind them to go do something. And then I will have to make sure that I track myself. Okay, my team, did they give it by the timeline or before the timeline or after the timeline? You also have to remind them what are the consequences if they don't send it to you. it sounds like this is super military. Okay. Yes, certain tasks in the event planner's role, it could be super militarian. Okay. You do it in your own approach. You can do it in a soft approach. You can do it in, hey, I need this. Can you do it for me? You know, in an efficient approach. It's up to you. It's your personality. Okay. It's your personality. I look at my onboarding process and I look at my event timeline and I start looking and I start sending out emails. I say, hey, I put on the subject line, hey, this task is due by this date. I haven't have it yet. Don't forget to send it to me. Otherwise, we're going to incur late fees. Otherwise, we're going to be scrambling and then we may not have the things that you want. So this is not what we want, right? So like that, okay? Do it in your own style, but accomplish the goal, okay? So let me just repeat the whole process. Number one, you got to do it before you even sign on this client. Got to tell them how it is like to work with you, share with them the general timeline, what will be needed and when, and let them know, do they enjoy working this way? Do they like to be a partner with you and give you all those things by this timeline? Is it possible? Is it the way they like to work? Okay. And then if they say yes, perfect. So they are not going to be blindsided when they come in or say, who is this woman that I hired? Okay. So they come in, then you're going to tell them that, hey, we have an onboarding process. This is a reminder of your timeline, what you need, what I need from you, what you can get from me. Okay. And this is what will happen if I don't get it. And this is what will happen if I get it in a timely fashion. So remind them again. Okay. During onboarding process. And then during the planning process, remind them again. Okay. This is the deadline. Give a buffer. This is the deadline. I need this by when. So just a reminder, if you don't give it to me by this time, I can't do this and everything will be delayed. And we don't want that. If I get it in a timely fashion, we're able to secure this, we're able to buy this, and we're going to get a good rate. So it's a constant communication, okay? Constant communication. You should never feel like you are a border. You should never feel like you're bordering them because you're doing your job. They hire you to do the job. But in order for you to feel good about it, is you got to know way in advance before you decide to work with this client and vice versa, that they like the way you work. If they don't like the way you work and then you do this to them because that's not how they function, then it will become a very difficult relationship because they will be like, come on, give me a break. Or okay, I'm going to get back to you. So they become impatient and the relationship will be strained. And we don't want that. We want every single relationship to have an extension of the lifetime value of a client. We want this client to be able to refer us to other clients as well. So it's extremely important to let them see your personality with how you work and be very honest. The only time that I see this happen is when you are not clear in communication. You may think you are being clear, but if they are not giving you what they want, what you say you need from them, it is not clear enough. Okay? It is not clear enough. And I'm so glad that my client Tommy is on Instagram right now. I don't know whether he's still on. But when I work with them, okay, this company, 8-figure entrepreneur, for their event, I send them a timeline. I said, okay, I need this by this date. They are so fast. They are so fast. They send it within 24 hours or within 48 hours. Okay. Why? Because they already know. I already forewarned them way in advance. If I'm still missing something, I will send up an email every day. I said, okay, I'm still missing this. I'm still missing this. But they will not get upset at me because they hire me because of that. They hire me because they know I will be on top of things. I will be on top of them. They know that I will be making sure that the timeline is being taken care of. Everything is delivered at the right time, okay, at the right place. So I save them time, I save them money, and I build a beautiful experience. So all this is to the benefit of the client and to the benefit of you. Okay. So don't ever feel that you are being a pest if you have already spoken to them way in advance during the enrollment process, and then they become a client, you continue to reinforce that. And then during the working planning process, you continue to reinforce that. Okay. Do it in your own fabulous, attractive, kind personality so that, it never becomes confrontational, but you need to get the job done. Okay, so if you have enjoyed today's tutorial, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Okay, share with anyone you know in the events industry that, hey, this is the woman to follow. All right, we are always constantly building our followings, our followers, because as an entrepreneur, what is the first thing you need to do? Constantly market yourself and always building your pipeline. And of course, you need to show up for your people. You need to show up and teach content that is relatable, that is going to help them to do whatever they need to do for their business. Okay, thank you so much for joining me today. And exactly at 12:30. Fantastic. So don't forget to join me again next week at 12 p.m. Eastern Time Zone for another Facebook Live and Instagram tutorial. My clients inside the mentorship program, please hop onto Zoom. Today, we're going to do some role play, and we are also going to talk about what it takes to own a profitable event and how to make it profitable. See you all soon next Wednesday. Members, inside Zoom now. Bye, everybody.